problems. It's great to use a ratio table. So let's read about this one. Claire is mixing. So when you're mixing two things like blue and red paint, those are both parts, and you have to get a whole. So if you put blue paint with red paint, you're going to get purple paint. It's kind of like the orange juice problem where you add water to concentrate and you get orange juice. So you have to add everything up to get the total amount. So imagine if you had a big bucket and you pour it in this problem, it says she uses the ratio of a half quart of blue paint. So that's why I put a half right there, to 1.5 quarts of red paint. So that's why I put the 1.5 there. If you pour those two things into a bucket, it's going to be full of both of them. So you have to add these up and you get 2 quarts total, right? And that's how much purple paint you have. Okay? So if Claire wants to make a gallon of purple paint, how many quarts of blue paint will she need? And it tells you a gallon is 4 quarts. So I can get my 2 to become a 4. What do I do, Grace?
So you can do 2 times 2, which is 4.
Yeah, you can double.
1 and 1/2 times 2 is 3.
So you double this.
And then 1/2 times 2 is 1.
Right.
And so, because you're trying to...
Oops, look at what I did. Doubled.
That's what
4.
And because it says how many blue paint she needs.
Right, so then reading the question.
That's 1.
Good job. It says if Claire wants to make 1 gallon or 4 quarts of purple paint, how many quarts of blue paint will she need? She will need 3 quarts.
It's not 3. Isn't it 1?
Oh.
Yeah, not 3.
She will need 3 quarts of red, right? But I'm reading my own problem wrong. She will need... There we go. She will need 1 quart. Thank you. Of blue paint. Thank you. If Claire wants to make 6 quarts of purple paint, what's one way to do it, Anna?
2 times 3.
You could triple. You could skip columns and triple. You could go 2 times 3. And that would get you to 6. Can you think of a different way, Jack? Besides tripling? There's one other way. I want somebody to come up with another way. Tripling works. Okay, Jason, what'd you do?
I added 2 and 4 together.
So you could add columns. So if you add 2 and 4 together, you get 6. So Jason, what would you add to get the number in that square?
3.
You would add this 3 and this 1.5. And Bailey, what do you get when you add those 2? Good. And then Aaron, what about the top row? 1.5. Okay, so if I'm going to read a little more carefully this time to answer the right question. If Claire wants to make 6 quarts of purple paint, I've got the 6 quarts of purple paint. How many quarts of red paint will Claire need? So Courtney, what am I going to say?
I'm going to say she needs 4.5.
Right. She needs, what's the question?
Red.
Yes, 4.5 quarts, and we could do a QT for that, of red paint. Nicely done. Okay, the next one, this is a conversion. It tells you 1 quart is the same as 32 ounces. It's kind of like saying 1 foot is the same as 12 inches. It's a different way to describe the amount. Okay? How many ounces of purple paint can Claire make if she uses 3 quarts of red paint? If she's using 3 quarts of red paint, I want to know how many ounces of purple. What do you have to do, Landon?
You have to
Okay, refocus, because I think you look a little distracted there. How about Ben? Let's see if Ben can help. Take your sweatshirt off your head. We're trying to figure out how to get from quarts to ounces, and the problem gives you a hint right here. What do you have to do to get from quarts to ounces, Ben?
Times by 32.
Perfect. Okay, so in this problem, for 3 quarts of red paint, how do I figure out how many ounces of purple paint?
It's 96 ounces.
Red paint, because you're going to have to take this whole column and multiply by 32, right? So that gives you 96 ounces of red paint. But
Blue paint.
it gives you 32 ounces of blue paint. So altogether, if you add those, you get 128 ounces of purple paint. Or you could multiply 4 by 32 and you still get 128. It should add up, right? This is a mixture problem. The top number plus the middle number should equal the bottom number. Yes?
I kind of did the same thing.
Yes?
Because it says 3 quarts of red paint. What I did, I looked at the 3 quarts.
Right.
And then I looked at the purple paint because that's what it's trying to make, and that's 4. So because I already know about 32, I just did 32 times 4.
Exactly. She just scratch-worked over here and did 32 times 4. And that works really nicely, as long as you are being careful. And I was almost not being careful there. Perfect. Okay, so we're going to call that the mixture problem for the test. Okay.